highlights here and there when I can in my spare time, but I haven't been watching whole races like I have in previous seasons. So yeah, the point being, this snuck up on me. I didn't have ample time to plan for it because I usually set up a party where I have everyone at my house and like in the main living area, not like anywhere near the studio here where I'm kind of alone in here, and this studio is not big enough to hold like anyone. So, it's like a whole thing, right? And I wouldn't have wanted to have it in here. I wanted to have it with everyone and have that party aspect to it. I think that's what's really unique and fun about it. So I didn't have time to plan that. And also because I was not planning for this ahead of time because I didn't think it was happening yet. I had a rare instance where, I basically had a date with my wife without the kids, which, by the way, never happens. Like in this era we're in right now, like at least this year, that is like an ultra rare thing to be able to have a night, actually, and by night, I mean just a couple hours, to have a few hours with my wife, which basically would have fallen during the first probably 2 or 3 hours of this race anyway, because I believe it would have aired around 8:00 p.m. my time here and then gone till midnight or probably further than that. But yeah, obviously having our night and then going to get the kids and all that, wouldn't have, that would have eaten into most of the race anyway. So yeah, I missed it, and that sucks. I do find something interesting though, so I want to roll this into a little bit of talk about the race and about the community outreach or the community like opinions on the race. And I want to see what you guys think as well. And then I also want to roll this into, because this is one of my favorite events ever, because this is one of like the original ingrained like pillars of this channel, that being like Australian motorsports and Bathurst and all that like this is one of the original things that really started, like, I guess, blowing my channel up and created this community and where I could talk to people and get all these comments and learn so much, right? Like this was like the beginning of that for my channel back in 2021. Because that's so valuable to me, because I love that community on this channel, and because I love like Australian motorsports that much, I want to kind of spin this into a different type of stream. So I'll say that in just a second. I'll say that, I guess, in the last section of the video, which will be in a couple minutes. But real quick, I want to recap. I just watched, I'll just show it here. I'm not going to show it because I don't want them to flag it or whatever, but I just watched this recap video, which is, I think, from today. Race 20 extended highlights, Repco Bathurst 1000, 2024, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I saw the highlights. I mean, as always, excellent coverage from them. They do a great job with, especially with audio. I always say that because sometimes NASCAR races, like, you can't even hear the car and stuff. It's really weird. They'll have like a segment where they'll show like an in-car and then they'll, you can hear it. But like during the normal race, you don't actually hear much. And I feel like with the supercars, one thing that always stands out to me is like excellent camera work, extremely great streaming quality, HD quality, right? That whole 9 yards. Like the visuals are great, the audio is great, and like I said, compared to NASCAR, like the audio, like you can hear the commentators perfectly, but they don't overpower like the sounds of the track, if that makes sense. You hear these little sound effects and you hear the engines of the cars like very vividly, and I think that's very fun for the experience. And I got that even in this highlight video. And obviously, shout out to Brody Kostecki. That is the winner of this year's Bathurst 1000. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a great performance. I believe that was the pole sitter and must have dominated most of the race because started in first, ended in first. Yeah, I'd say they did pretty damn good. I also do like this Chico paint scheme on this Camaro. But we moved to the opinion of everyone, and this doesn't speak for everyone. So I want to hear if you guys want to leave your kind of little review or what your thoughts were on the race if you saw it, whether that was in person or on TV or whatever. Please let me know in the comments because I don't want this to paint a picture for everyone. But surprisingly, when I go to the comments of this video, it is pretty overwhelmingly, I don't know if negative is the right word, but not a great review of the race from the general public here. So basically, they're saying that it was a long race like always, but they were amazed that they could even get 18 minutes of footage for the highlights video because there wasn't much going on. here's like two different threads, same thing, 18 minutes of highlights, absolute snooze fest. Maybe those, I don't know if those are pretty harsh or what, but I want to throw some thoughts in here in just a second. We'll read a couple more. Being born in 1960, I grew up watching the best racing at Bathurst. I would watch it religiously. I actually forgot it was on this weekend. I didn't miss much. So, yeah, I don't know if I agree with the didn't miss much part, but, I mean, hey, I didn't get to see it either. I basically guess you could say forgot. I mean, I saw people, like, contacting me, like, in comments and, through some of my emails and stuff saying, hey, check it out. And by the time I saw this was yesterday when it was too late, where I couldn't plan for it. So I was reminded of it, but it was, you know what I'm saying? Like, it snuck up on me, and there was just no way I was going to get it to work. Then we have this breakdown. 2024 Bathurst lead changes, no. Door-to-door racing, no. On-track overtaking, no. Close finish, no. 300 kilometers per hour speeds down Conrad Straight, no. Slower lap times than Super 2, yes. So, I mean, you get the picture, right? I mean, you could go read these yourself if you would like, but I don't know. Like, it's pretty shockingly not enthusiastic, the response, right? And, like I said, that may not be what everyone thought. I don't know the viewership numbers. Like, I'm assuming this is one of the most, if not the most viewed sports event in Australia. So, I wonder if the numbers are still on par with what they've been for the last 20 years, or if they've gone significantly down. I don't really know that stuff, but definitely it's one of the more negative comment sections I've seen, I can say, in all my learnings about Australian supercars. But I wanted to roll that into kind of my plan. So, do I agree with all of that? Maybe not necessarily like full on agree. I don't think calling this race a snooze fest is exactly accurate. I do think that it paints a picture, though, that motorsports as a whole are just not, I don't know, some motorsports, it doesn't go for all. But it seems like in general, most of the big motorsports from, all the big countries, NASCAR, Australian supercars, Formula One, right? The list goes on. They kind of, I feel like it's a general feeling from people that they've lost their magic a little bit, right? I don't think many Aussies would disagree with even me that this isn't the same as when we saw Ford Falcons and Holden Commodores and, even some other makes and models. But, seeing the Holden versus Ford, it being like Australian Ford and Holden, of course, there was definitely a more local, scene and magic from that. That was the basis of the rivalry in the motorsport. Ford versus Holden already adds to the motorsport, right? I mean, that's just awesome, right? This rivalry is always there. And then, of course, teams versus teams, drivers versus drivers, it all adds all these layers. But that's definitely gone a little bit, right? I mean, these things are hardly distinguishable from NASCARs as well, and that's the point. It's kind of weird seeing all these different series. Like, it's almost like they're unofficially merging together. Like, it's all these cars are similar. And even though this Camaro is cool, or like the Ford, the Mustangs are cool, like, there are race cars and they are fast and they are, they sound great and all that. I don't know what it is. It's like, it's different, That's just my take. I don't think, I'm not trying to hop on the bandwagon here with like, what people say, like, oh, all these motorsports suck now. I don't know if they suck. I think that's a little harsh, but I do think they lost some sort of flair, right? It's almost like the cars have gotten too good, if that makes sense. I don't know. I feel like I could go on for a long time and kind of end up probably talking in circles, but I think most of you will get my point. And maybe I'm reading too far into this. I would love to hear if you agree or disagree, for whatever reasons. I would love to know. But with that being said, this race is incredible. It's one of the most unique motorsport experiences because it's so long. It starts out and then it's always like almost sunset by the time it ends. Obviously, there's no track like Mount Panorama. I mean, there's a lot of iconic tracks throughout the world, but like, Mount Panorama is just another animal, right? You've heard me say that. You guys know that. It is truly something else. And to think combining an endurance event with that track just sounds grueling on the car. It sounds grueling on the drivers. I mean, hell, it's even a long day for the camera crew. It's a long day for the commentators. It's a long day for the fans. I mean, it's just a crazy experience. You know, I've seen my share of highlights. That's the point, is I have a lot